And welcome inside the backstage pass out there at KKTC True Country 99.9 New Mexico and Colorado, and our friends at HighTideCountry.net, and of course powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. We got the first of two coming up today too as well for a Texas two-step here in Texas. We call it that with two shows because sometimes during the week we'll do a couple of shows there too as well. And thanks to our sponsors out there, Bangtail Whiskey. Check them out, bangtail.com, and of course out there the Caden Gordon Show.com, today's best country mix. Check him out there up in Boston, Massachusetts. And pleased to welcome on one of my show favorites, and her new single right now is creating a buzz out there too. And that buzz is Never Have I Ever. Elyse Saunders to the show. Elyse, how are you doing?
Good, my friend. How are you doing?
It's good. You know, we finally got back to the 60s in Texas today, so it was a reprieve from that 20-degree morning over the previous couple of days.
Well, you would love it over here right now. It's very frigid, cold. Got to bundle up.
Well, I tell you what, you've had a whirlwind of a start of a year. There's some things that really worked out for you as this, but tell me, before we kind of get into the single, tell me a little bit about Apple Music. I love this too, because getting a chance to get on the playlist there, and huge there is on all of them out there too as well. Great songs and artists that you're accompanying. When you got the news from Apple Music, what was the response?
Oh, well, yeah, thank you for being excited along with me. I love the Apple Music platform. A big fan of their playlists. They've been supportive, actually, in the past few years of my songs. And I always say to them that they're a big reason why I am here now in my career is just their support, because, digital streaming platforms are becoming so popular now. And it's where we all go to listen to music and new music. And so I'm grateful for them, and just to have them choose me for Canada's country cover girl was super cool. Nice surprise. And then they added me to their top playlist. So I appreciate it and respect their listeners so much. So it's always exciting. And George is such an amazing spearhead for the independent artists in the scene that are coming up and becoming the next stars. So it's exciting.
You should be, and I love the fact that it was like a chance to talk a little bit. I know we were texting back and forth. One to Watch by Rogers Media, which is amazing as a highlight artist. I mean, that news along with the Apple Music, I mean, just kind of another, bullet in the gun there too to fire and hit the target. You're doing that.
Yeah, doing the thing. I've always hoped for these moments to come together. I'm one of these artists. It's the 10-year overnight success, right? You put in your hard knocks, you put in your dues, and you hope to get to this place one day. So it's kind of all coming together now, and it's that snowball effect of all the momentum happening around it, and just to see how much of an impact this song is making is really cool, that people are really digging it, connecting to it. It first was picked up by our iHeart Future Star, and then Rogers here. So now it's going top 40. I found out today it just hit the top 40 charts and is climbing. So it's just rapid fire.
That's a good thing. That's no doubt about it too. Well, tell us about this single, because it's across all the platforms. Came out there last week when you guys released it on a Thursday. Never Have I Ever across all those platforms, which is creating a buzz across the Apple Music and the Rogers Media out there too. The idea, the backstory, the writing of the song, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, so I wrote it with my good friend Jason Blaine, who's now based in Nashville, Tennessee. We wrote at his family home there. And I followed Jason's career for a long time too. So he's kind of taken me under his wing, and we've shared some shows and done some writing. And it was a couple of years ago we wrote this one. I had the idea of taking the drinking song idea of taking Never Have I Ever and turning it into a bit of a love song. And he loved the idea right away. And it kind of wrote itself. We played around with a whole bunch of Never Have I Ever kind of drinking ideas, and it became this really playful song at the end of it. And he's featured on the track, and it's drinking song turned love song. It's about a couple spilling their truths and just feeling the type of way they never felt before.
It's a great song. It's got a little bit of upbeat in there too, a little bit of that 90s feel to me too, with that modern day kind of country mixed in there too, and a great work in the studio. Instrumentation was awesome, of course the vocals and lyrics, really, like you said, the lyrics to me had that true meaning of that couple that you're talking about too, and some things that, like, some of the truth comes out.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's a playful song, and we wanted it to be that, not too serious, but something that everybody could connect to.
You know, what's cool is to see this female movement now even further since you and I last talked about all these things that, I mean, Lainey Wilson on fire and all these different artists kind of doing their thing with Carly Pierce and Ashley McBride. And I mean, the names go on and on out there too. Pillbox Patty. So many great females are just making their mark in country music. And this is the first time for me, probably since, I don't know, middle 90s, late 90s, that we've had this many female artists kind of make their mark in a very much, you know, still is and what used to be probably male dominated industry. There's nothing wrong with that too, but it's just cool for me to highlight more females on the show. I guess one, what does that do for the motivation for your career? And you see it coming from all over, not just North America, but Canada too, Australia, the UK, so many great female artists. And then two, the impact these women are making on country music.
Well, I appreciate people like yourself that are open to sharing female voices and songs, and that goes a long way, makes an impact, because that's the only way that this movement can happen is if people hear the music and let them make the choice. And Lainey Wilson is definitely one of those artists that prove that, and so many other females that are coming up now. And I feel the same way, and that females were dominating in the 90s and on par with the males, which was so cool to see, and such icons. And it feels really good that it's coming back, and it makes me feel like I have a chance to get there too. So it's motivating, and it tells me that I'm doing the right things.
You know, I guess when we first met, you had one of the best EPs that I got a chance to listen to, the Free EP, which had the song Famous on it, of course, Jeans, and the title track itself led off the EP. Tell us a little bit about that one too, and I'm sure that's still, you know, popular at live shows, and getting that music out there too is still some of your, probably your highest streamed songs out there.
Yeah, it was the song that kind of set me on this trajectory. The album, the entire project is what set me on this trajectory, with Free being the one right off the top and being the title of the album as well. And it was produced with Dan Swinimer and Paul Chateau, and they're such great producers, amazing ears. And I feel like it was nice to have both of their ears on it, just to give something different on each song. And it really represents where I was going in my career at that time, and my songwriting as an entertainer, as a female voice. And it kind of opened up the doors for me at that time. And it was released during the scary word pandemic, during a time when I couldn't really be out there performing a whole lot. So I was able to really capitalize on the online market and streams, and doing all these live events and shows, including your show and How I Met You. And so it was that takeoff point for me. And now we're getting into this next chapter, next era of music that kind of lifted off from that point.
Yeah, speaking of that next chapter in kind of, you know, 2024, a lot of artists now either have or don't have, many probably do, New Year's resolutions, and, you know, kind of strategically kind of setting their minds for, okay, I'm going to do this much time on instruments. I'm going to go out there and, you know, get in the studio to do this. I've got a writing session for that, or I'm going to go, you know, practice the instrument a little bit more, or I've got to go this set of shows kind of aside to attack there too. Of course, in building that team around them, give me some of the New Year's resolutions, some of the highlights now writing this single, and the news we talked about at the beginning of the program, all the way through this year now.
So I guess this year I'm just excited to see where everything goes, but we definitely have a lot in the works. We have a tour in the works with a new team there. And I'm just going to keep expanding the team to keep reaching as many people as possible. I'm looking at making the official move to Nashville, which will be exciting, because Nashville's been a huge influence to my career since I was just a little one starting out. And it'll be nice just to be able to go back and forth and spend a lot more time writing. I've been doing a lot of writing this past couple of years and writing for other artists. So I want to continue doing that, and get as many shows and release more music is the main thing, and see how big we can go.
Go big or go home, no doubt about it too.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back, talk about a few more tracks, including one of my favorites out there too. People that know me, they know my favorite song from Elyse out there too. I'll let that be a tease as we go to break too at the same time, and come back, talk about some more music, and of course rapid fire coming up. No pun intended there, but it's there. We call it that too, with some new questions we got for Elyse to get to know her more on a personal basis out there too. We are presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. Get the order in bangtail.com. Select total wine and specs in the Nashville market, and now in the Texas market too, in San Antonio, Texas too, and of course spreading everywhere globally here in the United States, and of course expected to just keep on going. Bangtail.com. get the order into or visit your local Total Wine and Specs. Make your favorite cocktail and do it with the official whiskey of the Backstage Pass and our friends over at Caden Gordon, the CadenGordonShow.com. More on that coming up here. KKTC True Country 99.9, and of course out there at HighTideCountry.net, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. Hang tight, coming back.
The Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
The Bangtail Pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here with Elyse Saunders on the program, highlighting Never Have I Ever, the current single out there across all the platforms, came out last week. Back here at KKTC True Country 99.9. Of course, we did our radio drop this morning. If you were listening there with myself and Shelly G in the morning, we played some songs, had a lot of fun. We're going to do it again tomorrow, coming up about 8:30 Central Time, 7:30 Mountain Time, as we do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with an extra call this week because the winter weather said we're not going to cooperate with you last week in Taos. It was snowed in, as a lot of people were with this winter weather. Hopefully it's a little bit, it's better in Texas this week too, back in the 60s. And of course tonight it's going to be cool temperatures and just bracing this winter weather. I'm ready for the sunshine state of mind. I had to go there because I want to see some sunshine. This is a song you guys put out in 2021. Tell us all about this one, because I loved it and it got me in a happy mood.
That's the point of it. So I'm so happy to hear that. That's what it's all about, is just having a positive state of mind, really, at the end of the day. And the message of being with the right people, because when you're with the right person, it can make the world of difference. And it's just one of those fun songs. You turn on the summertime sunshine state of mind, it gets you in a sunny state of mind. And I wrote it with my friend TJ Simpson as well. We wrote it in the winter, cold winter. So I think we were craving some sunshine.
Yeah, no doubt. I tried to just peek through the clouds today, but we saw a little bit of it. It was teasing us. It was like, well, back to partly cloudy. It's the way it goes down here in Texas. And I can't stand these 20-degree temperatures. Somebody was asking me today, would you rather have 100 or 45? And I went 100.
Yeah.
Anything down here in Texas to let us know what we're known for is the Texas heat down here too. Because if it ain't hot enough, get out of the kitchen, I guess they say. A lot of people know we first met. I loved the song Wind Down. There's no second guessing that too. So much fun with that one. It's just a great country ballad. It's out there too. Some great instrumentation in it too. You really nailed it when you guys put that song out. And I know that for me, I saw it climb and climb and climb and just hit those streaming charts the way it did too. Not a surprise. This song did very well for you. And there was a special connection with this one too, right?
Yes. So it's a play on words of winding down with a good glass of wine. And I had written that one a few years ago with my friends Daryl Scott and Joey Green on a trip to Nashville. It was a last minute write. And one of those songs, again, kind of wrote itself. And when that happens, that's when I know it's a song for me, because it's effortless. And it was written around a time when I just was super busy in my career, which I always am. But at the time, my significant other and we just were never seeing each other, just never able to meet up on schedules. And it just was kind of for a tribute of people that wanted to slow down with their loved one, just shut off the noise and just be there with them and not worry about the outside world for a little bit.
I think we all need to do that from time to time. Like I said, just have that wind down, what do you call it, with the E or not, the glass of wine, of course, in the playful mood and playing with words. That's the cool thing about music, is you can do that and still have fun with it too. I even go back to the last album, and I got a chance to actually hear them today because I wanted to hear the songs. I'm on my way, which you guys released 2018, I believe that was. And looking back at Just Like Mama made me kind of feel just at home, just because I was thinking about my loved ones who just made me feel that way too growing up, my grandma, things like that. And then, of course, listening to another one of those upbeat kind of fun songs that was there, All Kinds of Crazy. Still request, I guess, for this particular album, and you kind of look back and as the evolution goes in the business from maybe the first album to the second album to the singles and the songs coming out and how things just evolve over time?
It's so cool to look back, and it's neat to look back after time has gone by, because I feel like you can hear it as a third perspective because you're not really in that place anymore. So it's definitely part of my journey, and I'm on my way became the title track because that's where I felt like I was at in my life in general. Is just I'm on to becoming the best version of me and developing into the artist I am. And again, just part of the progress and evolution to me as an artist. And I think it's one of those ones that not everybody knows about. So I appreciate that you mention it, because people do like to sometimes bring that one up to me. They're like, oh, like you should still do some of those songs. And I have fans from that album that are still here. So it's so cool.
I bring up everything. We do the homework here on the show.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing out there, too, that separates us from everybody else. Not that everybody else to do their thing, but we do a little bit more of a thing here.
Which I appreciate so much.
Which is good. Love it. There's another one that people may have heard out there, too, when it got released. Feel You Leaving is that song that you guys had put out, too. I love the cover of that because I don't know if you could have kind of depicted it more, a little bit better with kind of the wave, and you see that kind of body of water too, and you got that circle around it with the letters kind of sitting right there too. This one is you can take this to heart because this is something that like a lot of people can go through, whether it be a relationship or just something out there too that didn't go their way for whatever reason. But I love the album cover, the single art cover that you guys chose for this too.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just all about the imagery of letting the waves kind of wash over you and, just take the pain away sort of thing. And I was going through something at that time. And weirdly enough, this does not happen very often to me as a writer, but this is one of those songs that happened to me. And I was dreaming and I had heard this song, not a completed song, but the main hook of the song. And I heard some of the lyrics, and then I woke up and I realized that it was just a dream that I needed to record it in my phone. So woke myself up, recorded it in my phone, made notes, went back to sleep. And then I brought it out in a writing session at another date. And they were like, we love this idea. Let's write it. And they loved that it came from a dream. So as an artist, I mean, it makes sense. We're sensitive, artistic people. So it's going to come out in all ways, whatever we're going through. So that one has a neat story behind it. And my songwriting abilities when I sleep.
I love that you bring that up too, because how cool was that for that to come from a dream? You feel something, you wake up, you write it, you go back to sleep, or a hook or whatever. That's the beauty of this process, and the beauty of this business is that these ideas can happen anywhere, kind of everywhere. When you get that hook, and sometimes it is a personal experience, but you kind of dig real deep. Tell people a little bit more about the Elyse Saunders, the writing style, and kind of what you want to get out of a song and the message you want to send to your fans when you sing a song.
So for me, it's always really important that I bring something to the song that is always me, even if it's not exactly my story. I get inspired by a lot around me as well. And at the end of it, I just want my audience to connect to it in a way that I feel like I'm connecting to the song, and that they feel something and it becomes their song, their anthem. And whenever I am writing, I like to create something that's very tactile, that they feel like they are part of the song, part of the story. And then also I like to kind of give people something that's a little more empowering, no matter what the message is. I never want to leave people feeling too down in my music. So I feel like that's part of my purpose as a writer, is just to bring something that tweaks the mindset just a little bit.
It makes a lot of sense too. And like I said, have that personal connection with that particular listener, let them feel something through the song and kind of decide for themselves, is that something they can really just kind of relate to? Or is that something that you're going to make fans everywhere you go? Because that's just the way I love the way music does that too. And it's just all areas out there. It just, it attacks in a good way from a lot of people out there too as well, which it comes back to them. And, oh, I heard this song on this today, or they're bringing back a little bit of 90s country feel for that. And that sound's been missing there. And there's a hunger and a thirst for it too. So that's why I love your music, because I really feel like you're bringing back a little bit of everything with that modern day fit, even today too. So congratulations.
Thank you.
This latest single that I love. Again, Never Have I Ever, across all the digital platforms and ElyseSaunders.com. We'll come back, put a wrap on the show. Yeah, it's hard to believe 20 minutes has gone by, but that's what happens when you do a radio program here, mixing all of your paid sponsors out there too as well. If you want to become a sponsor too, you can definitely do it. We're running a special now, $500. That's it. It gets you into CRS, is sponsor exclusive with us at the Backstage Pass. Will be there February 28th to March 1st. Beautiful Nashville, Tennessee, the Omni Hotel. Looking forward to that. And the beautiful thing is, at least you just never know who's going to come from behind that curtain and who's going to be there at Country Radio Seminar. So it's going to be a lot of fun out there too as well. So not a lot of money to ask for if you want to jump on board. Our friends at Bangtail Whiskey and the CadenGordonShow.com have done it. KKTC True Country 99.9 has also done it out there too. And of course out there, HighTideCountry.net. Coming back, final segment with Elyse Saunders here on the program. Stay tuned. A whole lot more coming up.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show, that's where you find all the sponsor information right there, too, in the video. And, of course, we appreciate you guys. Right now, that one-time special for a month covers CRS, and we'll even do a bonus month there. $500 get you in. Contact my buddy Heath over there, too, 409-454-0571, our business line, too. We'll answer it and definitely put a package and a campaign together, too, just like a good song, well written, too, as well, to brand your business for a country radio seminar coming up February 28th to March the 1st. Back here at KKTC True Country, 99.9, our market out in New Mexico and Colorado, and of course, HighTideCountry.net, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com with Elyse Saunders here. So I got to have some fun with you too, because I love doing this, and rapid fire always kind of wraps up the program. And definitely, we're going to have you back as soon as new music drops, because you and I are always in touch when new music drops out there too, which is a great thing to have too. All right, over the Christmas holidays, what you find yourself getting into to binge watch? Any new programs?
There was a bunch of Netflix Christmas movies I was turning on. All of the Christmas cheese. Yeah, it's the way to get into the spirit.
Yeah, it was for me. It was like Disney Plus, having the little one too. She'd watch the same show 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
and like, honey, you already seen the Mickey Mouse Funhouse and all the different Christmas things out there, and Santa Claus. But hey, you know what? She only turns that age one time. She'll be 4 coming up this year too. Hard to believe how time has flown, but at the same time, we love it, and I guess we'll just watch them repeat and repeat right there too,
Yeah.
as well as they're on for those Christmas shows too. Food wise, what'd you get into? What was the cuisine? What was the food that you enjoyed the most?
Turkey and stuffing is always
Okay.
the best go-to, and obviously all of the goodies and pies and dessert.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta go back and just watch the calories here in 2024.
Yeah.
Just to shed some lbs out there too, because it was that time of year. You're like, yep, and we ate it, we let it go, and back to the doctor. He's like, yep, your cholesterol is this. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. No, we never do. We just never keep a New Year's resolution for cholesterol, nothing like that too. But hopefully good checkups. That's what we all wish for, is good checkups out there too. We report for the physicals and things like that too. And take care of yourself, no doubt, out there too. All right, when it comes to other foods out there, say Nashville, when you're there, I know for me, I've got to get to a few different restaurants this year. I didn't get my Hattie B's chicken sandwich, so I've got to stay in line for that this year to be able to order that at the window, sit down, just have that moment, hence wind down. With a good glass of something too out there. For you, what restaurants kind of do it for you every time you're in Nashville?
Well, definitely I gotta get hot chicken when I'm in
Okay.
Nashville. That's tradition. Chewy's is really good. It's a lot of fun, just a little Mexican flair. I'm also a sucker for Italian food, so anywhere I can find good Italian food. So if you have any recommendations, maybe we can visit that during CRS.
Yeah, well, I'm asking around too, because like I said, we're booked, we're going. Like I said, we're gonna be there, so we need to find some recommendations. If you do, leave them in the comment box. We'll get there too, and we'll try to go over there and maybe do a show from there. You never know what comes up over there too. All right, what was the first song you ever sang live on stage? And it can be a cover too.
First song I ever sang live on stage was at a high school singing competition.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I Will Always Love You, Whitney
Oh,
Houston, written by Dolly Parton. So yeah, it's definitely one of my all-time favorite songs. And I've always been kind of like what I like to call myself an emo kid.
okay.
That I'm like listen to these heartbreak like songs, when I was a kid and would feel like I was emoting them. So yeah, it was my go-to talent show song was I Will Always Love You.
I love that. The good stuff right there. Classic song, no doubt. All right. If Elyse Saunders was not a musician, what other career would she be involved with?
I'd probably be on the artist business side,
Okay.
maybe somebody's manager, something along those lines. Because as an artist, I've had to learn to appreciate the business side. So I think that I'd have something to offer there.
Mhm.
But if I wasn't allowed to be in music, let's say at all, then maybe teaching.
Oh, there you go. That's another career that I do. So
Yeah.
congratulations on that too. Love to teach and definitely work with our youth today and put them in the right direction to graduate, finish high school, and go join society in a productive way. No doubt about it too. So you'd be a great fit as a teacher. We've had some conversations behind the scenes, just your demeanor and the way you come off, this great positive attitude and that spiritual side of things, and just always kind of upbeat, make it feel good. You'd make a perfect teacher. I'm just going to say
Oh,
that.
thanks. Well, maybe I can. I'm hoping in my career, that's important to me actually, is as I grow, I want to be able to mentor other artists and
Hmm.
maybe create a label someday and take
Hmm.
artists under my wing. That's my hope too.
I love that. I love that. Like I said, and definitely we're here to help you any way we can here on the backstage pass too. As you mentioned that new artists getting into it now, and I've seen these shows coming off The Voice, and some of the people we've had. Of course, we have Bryce Leatherwood next week. He just won the competition last year, 2023. I think it was May of their season, whatever that was, season 23, 24. They've done a lot of them, and of course, you look at Idol, and even AGT is putting out some great things. I think that's a great thing for the industry to give those younger artists a chance to face time and getting their artistry out and kind of who they want to be, and letting kind of America choose and the judges kind of do their job with coaching. These shows have come together pretty fast over the last few years, and we're seeing some really good talent come off there. What's your kind of opinion on those shows?
Yeah, I think that they are an amazing opportunity for somebody. I know from my side on the competition side, it's not easy. So if somebody's able to come out of that with a successful career, I give them a lot of kudos because
Mhm.
there's a lot of stuff behind the scene that you have to kind of gruel through to get to that point. So I think it's an amazing opportunity. It's kind of like a sped up version of paying your dues, right? So I think it's great and show people music in a big way and have the opportunity to let them come in on the journey is cool too.
All right, we'll finish with this one too. A stage that Elyse has not stepped on yet. It's kind of that dream stage to, like, you know what, this is a bucket list item I'm gonna have to do, whether it be Red Rocks or if it's the Opry or whatever it may be. Give me some of those stages that can be multiple ones that you want to grace one day.
Well, number one for sure is the Opry.
Okay.
I mean, country artist, I mean, that's the dream is Opry. Red Rock would be amazing. I think that would be such a beautiful experience. And then here in Canada, there's a stage called Boots and Hearts, which
Hmm.
I had a chance to be on one of their side stages before. And it'd be cool to have a full set at some point at Boots and Hearts. It's a big party festival, and thousands and thousands of people show up. It's just a blast. So it'd be one of those pinch me full circle moments to be on any of those stages.
I love that too. Like I said, definitely can grace those two, and the dream just gets better and better every time we do this. And it's always fun to catch up with you. You're one of my favorites out there, a show favorite. She's almost got like the tag at one of the executive offices at one of the big companies now. She's got a reserved parking spot here on the backstage pass, which is great out there too. Never Have I Ever, the current single across the digital platforms, Apple Music star out there now too, and Rogers Media. She's climbing all these charts, top 40 with the song. Always great to catch up with you here. Always thanks for coming by. And you and I get to talk a lot more stuff coming up here, of course, CRS and into 2024. So thanks for always making time for me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate everything you do for us artists. It means a lot, and to have your support as a part of the journey too. And yeah, anybody listening, thank you so much. If you add like whatever, if you just check out the song "Never Have I Ever" by Elyse Saunders, it would mean so much.
Please do that out there too as well. Encourage that too. And of course, our folks at KKTC True Country 99.9, New Mexico, Colorado, and up in Oklahoma, hightidecountry.net. We'll see you guys back here in a few minutes. Actually, we're not done for the day. I had to think for a second. I was like, wait a minute. We got another show coming at you about 4:35 today Central Time, coming up here in a little bit too, and some surprises coming up. Speaking of Canadian artists, Elyse knows, but I'm not going to let the public know. We got some great Canadian artists coming up here that you might have heard of the next few weeks too. Definitely some platinum selling artists and a whole bunch more coming up here on the Backstage Pass. And of course, the one, the only Gretchen Wilson coming here to the Backstage Pass in just a few weeks here. Be on the lookout for that too. We'll see you guys back here in a little bit on the Backstage Pass. Until then, take care. Powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. You can go there and check out all the shows. And of course, always wherever you find podcasts, we're there. The Backstage Pass presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and the CadenGordonShow.com out there. Today's best country mix. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the morning show with Shelly G, KKTC, and who knows what we'll get into tomorrow morning and what songs we'll play. Tune in 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain Time via the LMNOC broadcast streaming app out there too as well. You can listen 7 nights a week out there too at 10 Mountain Time for our streaming show. We'll see you guys back here. Kalen Cole coming up here in a few minutes. Until then.